$5,000 a year for a vacancy fee, and that property's been vacant for 3 years. That's a big chunk of change. Hey guys, Sean Bloomquist, Pine Financial Group, where we work together so you succeed. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit notifications so you're up to date on all the content we release every Friday. Today I want to talk about 3 quick tips on something you can do before you hop in the car to go look at a property. We get properties coming from our realtors, if we have a search going with them, or if you're on wholesaler lists or anything like that, you're getting inundated with properties on a regular basis. And you can see maybe some pictures online and things like that, some of the stats on the property itself, purchase price, all that kind of stuff, size of the house. If it's a wholesale deal, maybe they got some interior pictures, exterior pictures, things like that. But here's 3 quick things you should do before you even hop in the car to go look at these properties. As we all know, time is money and your time is very valuable, and you don't want to be wasting time driving all over town if it's something that before even going and looking at it, you can figure out, hey, I got to be aware of this, that, or the other thing on it before I even make an offer on this property. So tip number 1 is pull up the address on Google Maps or Bing or whatever search browser you use. Bring up the address online and go to the satellite image so that you can see the actual above picture of the property itself, and look for deterrents. Is there a railroad track in close proximity? Just things that you may not see just driving past the front of the property or going inside the property. Look around, look for deterrents that you may not see very easily from where you're at when you're at the property, but that could come into play on the value itself. If you're driving past the front of the house and there's an alley, but behind the alley there's a cemetery, well, that's going to be a deterrent. These are things you need to be aware of, and it's hard to tell without getting that above look. Unless you drive around the whole neighborhood, well, you don't have time to do that. It takes you a couple of seconds to just pull it up online and take a look and know that before you actually go over to it. And the other thing that you can do that's really handy is a lot of these online maps like that, they've got a street view. So you can switch it over or move the little guide to go to the street view, be right in front of the house, and then take a look in each direction from the house. Is there a house next door that's got a bunch of cars parked in the yard up on blocks or things like that? Does it look like a junkyard next door? Granted, the image may not be super up to date, but typically they do those every year or so. It just gives you a good quick look. If the house is a half an hour away, well, that's an hour out of your day just in driving. A half hour there and a half hour back. So you might as well just take that quick couple minutes online and get that done before you even go waste your time looking at it. Another thing you can do online, all this is going to be online. Make sure you're using it to your full advantage. The other thing you can do is go to the county records site and pull up the property address, see if it's on a vacant property list or anything like that. And the reason you want to do that is some cities have an extremely high vacancy tag on a property, and you want to know if that's going to come into play when you go to purchase this property. Because when you go to make your offer on the property, if you've got, some of the cities, they've got thousands of dollars in vacancy. And if that property is sat for a few years, it can add up per year. $5,000 a year for a vacancy fee, and that property's been vacant for 3 years. That's a big chunk of change that you may have to negotiate or see if you can get removed in some way, but you don't want to have to pony up that money. So just take a quick look online and see, hey, is there a vacancy tag on this property or anything like that? And it will help you in your negotiations before you even go look at it. Because when you go to the property, you're going to go look around, put together your scope of work, and then come back and make your offer. So you want to be able to have that kind of in your back pocket before you even start doing your due diligence on it. And the last thing you can do is, even if you don't have access to the MLS or you don't want to bug your realtor to look it up, you can take a look online with some free tools. You've got Redfin. There's actually one called the MLS Online that's free that you can sign up on. And you've got other ones as well, Zillow and all those. But just do a quick comp search, especially if you're looking at like a duplex or a triplex or something like that. Do a quick comp search of sold properties in whatever that is that you're buying. If it's a duplex or a triplex or quad or multifamily in whatever way, just do a quick comp search on sold properties, even in the last year. Because if you go to look at a property, yeah, you may be looking at that property, but do you know how many multifamilies are around that property if you're buying that? If you don't, you may run into a problem finding comps for that property, and it may be something that'll make it hard to determine that after repaired value. So it'd be nice to be able to just take a quick peek and say, okay, there's a handful of multifamilies that have sold in the last year, maybe the last 6 months. That's going to give you a good idea if it's going to make it easier for you to figure out that after repaired value. Because if it's something where you've got a duplex and within a 6 block radius or more, there is no duplexes, there's only single families that have sold in the last year, that's going to make it pretty challenging. So you've got to be aware of that. It's going to just make it a little more difficult to figure out that after repaired value. Not impossible, but just another wrench in the situation that you want to be aware of. So those are just 3 quick tips you can do. It doesn't take much time to do it online when you're sitting at your desk or you're on your couch with your laptop before you even set foot in the car and spend your valuable time driving around town to look at properties. You can just do a quick search on these things and be a step ahead of the game, essentially. Hopefully that helps you out when you're out finding deals. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at pinefinancialgroup.com. Thank you.